In our last session, we discussed about the concept of cluster in our vCenter server, and today I'm going to define you another important service related to our vCenter server environment. I'm talking about the HA and DRS. So in this video, I'm going to show you the step how you can configure DRS distribution resource scheduler and HA high availability. So we'll try to understand about the prerequisite because it's really important if you plan to establish your HARDRS. So you must need to know about the prerequisite, and according to that, you need to establish your DRS RHA services. Okay, so let's try to understand about the prerequisite, and then we'll move ourselves to inventory and discuss about the procedure. Okay, so let's start. But before that, if you're new on my YouTube channel, please do subscribe because Teach Me Cloud can give you 100% live practical and scenario based video series. So now I'm just going to show you the concept and use of HA and DRS, and after that, we'll try to understand about the procedure to implement the DRS services. Okay, so our agenda to understand about the cluster and HADRS, HA and DRS. So basically, HA and DRS both are a part of our cluster, and you know that cluster is available in our vCenter server. So in our case, what I did, we have a two different ESXi. The ESXi 7.0, I installed two different ESXi, and you know that we have a one vCenter server as well, and both vCenter server, both ESXi are connected with our vCenter. We are planning to establish HA and DRS. So what we need to do, we need to establish two different share storage. Means if you want to perform the practical activity, you need to configure two different storage 1 and storage 2. Okay, and you must need to activate the Vmos services on both machine. The first requirement, share storage, and second requirement, turn on vMotion service. Okay, so this is the prerequisite to establish our HA and DRS services. So in this video, I'm going to show you the practical of DRS, and then we'll discuss about the HA as well. Let me show you the step. Let me show you this setup that I created. This is our domain controller. We will use the same machine for our share storage as well. And this is the ESXi host 192.168.1.100 and another ESXi 192.168.1.11. Both ESXi are running properly, and I have already connected with our vCenter servers as well. So let me take the RDP of our ESXi and configure share storage. For the share storage, I'm just going to use the ISKG protocol. This is our Server 2012 operating system. I'm just going to use this machine for share storage services. Add role and features and install ISKG role from our server machine. File and storage services, we just need to activate ISKG target and NFS server, because you know that these two protocol can help us to manage the share storage services. And meanwhile, I'm just going to take the RDP, not RDP, just take the access of our ESXi host separately. So we need to take the RDP, not GUI access of our ESXi host. So this is the ESXi host and we just need to activate the vmotion. So for the vmotion, we know that we need to click on network, go to the physical nic. In the physical nic, sorry, we need to click on the VM kernel, open the VM kernel properties, and edit the setting action, and click edit setting. You will be find the option of vmotion. So we must need to activate the vmotion services for HA and DRS both. Save it. As it is, we need to perform task. We need to configure the vmotion services for our ESXi. Old ESXi means as ESXi first, 192.168.1.100. And you must need to activate the vmotion services. VM kernel, click on action button and click edit setting again, and turn on the vmotion. So we successfully activated the vmotion services from our ESXi host 1 and ESXi host 2. Meanwhile, we need to configure a one share storage, and share storage should be attached with our both ESXi hosts. So we successfully installed the iskg, open file and storage, select iskg, and create one share storage drive. Just need to click task and create a new storage. We have already discussed in our ESXi environment, so I hope you have idea about how we can manage the iskg services. Type any name, like I just share one. How much you want to provide? Like I'm going to proceed with 15 gig of share space. Next, click add, and you need to provide the IP address of your provider. So IP address of our means ESXi. You just need to type the both ESXi IP address 192.168.1.100. Okay, click add. Again, we have a two different ESXi, so we need to provide the IP address of second ESXi host as well. 192.168.1.11. Just okay. Next, and create. So now we successfully created a 115 gig of space, and we will use this 15 gig of space as a share storage with ESXi host 1 and ESXi host 2. So how we can connect? We know very well about. Just need to open share storage, go to the adapter setting, software iskg adapter, and make sure the share storage IP address. So our share storage IP address is, let me verify, IP config, I think 150. Yes, our share storage IP address is 150. We just need to click on enable button, and it will give you the option to configure share storage. We are able to find the static or dynamic target. We just need to click here and provide the IP address of our share storage 192.168.1.150. These all are the prerequisites that you need to configure, because I'm going to describe you about the HA and DRS from scratch, because if you miss any step, we are unable to get the result. So that's why I'm just going to define you each and every step. Cool. So I think we successfully connected back to the data storage, and need to click on data store. Click next. We are able to find 15 gig of space that we shared. Share storage. Okay. Next, I want to use entire space, because we just have a 15 gig of share storage, so I want to utilize the entire space. It is in progress. We need to wait. As it is, we need to add a same share storage with our ESXi2. Enable the ESXi setting and provide the same IP address to access the 15 gig of share storage. Add dynamic target, provide the IP address 192.168.1.150. Click Save Configuration. Back to the data store and click New Data Store. Okay, I think it's still in progress, so we just need to wait because we already added the same storage. Now it's highlighted in our ESXi first. This is second ESXi. The IP address of second ESXi is 1.11, and we need to wait, and definitely you will be get a shared storage space. Now we successfully connected our shared storage with ESXi host 1 and 2, and both ESXi contained with Vmos services, means you activated the Vmos services with ESXi host 1 and 2. Everything is fine, means we good with the prerequisite. Now I'm just going to define you about the procedure to configure the firstly we just try to understand about the DRS, and after that we'll discuss about the HA. So what we need to do, we need to open our ESXi vCenter server, and in vCenter server we already connected with ESXi 192.168.1.100. Actually, I haven't configured the domain, that's why we need to identify the IP address with IP address, not with name. Second step, need to connect another ESXi that we created. I'm just going to add the host, because for the DRS, you know that we must need to configure at least two different ESXi in our environment, not for DRS and for the HA as well. So this is the IP address 192.168.1.11. I'm just going to provide the username and password and click next. Fine. Click OK. Next and finish. So in same cluster we successfully connected two different ESXi hosts, and next another option, we need to create a few virtual machine in our any ESXi. It's not mandatory to put in 100 or 11, so you can create a virtual machine in any ESXi host. Okay, it is in progress. We just need to wait. Okay, so we successfully connected both ESXi hosts. Unfortunately, it is in maintenance mode, so you need to release from maintenance mode. Right click, just click on the maintenance mode and click exit maintenance mode. Right, both ESXi are available, and we successfully added the same share storage into both ESXi hosts. Need to create few virtual machines. So in our 1.100, I'm going to create few virtual machine, and you should be put the VM files location in share storage. Click create virtual machine. Proceed with any name like Windows 10. But before that, before creating the virtual machine, we just need to activate the DRS services. So for the DRS, just right click on your cluster, the class cluster that we created in last session. Right click on your cluster and go to the setting option. In the setting panel, the first option we are able to find with name of DRS, vSphere DRS. Click edit setting, and if we talk about the types of DRS, so it's categorized in three different parts. Whenever we activate the DRS, it gives you three different ways to configure. One is manual, second is partially automated, and last one is the fully automated. So in this video, I'm going to show you the step to configure a fully automated DRS, and after that we'll discuss about the manual and partially. Select fully automated. The meaning of fully automated in this case means if you are getting a load over your ESXi, then DRS can move some virtual machine to another ESXi which is available in cluster. So everything will be everything happen in automatic format, means no need to manage anything by yourself, by your own, because the DRS is responsible to transfer the virtual machine from one ESXi to another ESXi to balance the load. So that's why it also considered as a load balancer kind of thing in our cluster. Fine. So we successfully turn on the DRS thing. We are able to see our DRS service is turned on, and I'm just going to provide the load. I'm just going to give the load over a ESXi host. So currently, if we talk about our current situation, so we have only one virtual machines available, and the virtual machine which is a part of 1.100, right? Only one virtual machines are running in our ESXi 1.100. Let me click here, and if we talk about the number of virtual machines, so only one virtual machine is available. I'm going to create few more VMs. Right click and click new virtual machine only for the load, and we will use the shared storage to create our VM. Windows 10, next, 1.100, next, and you must need to put your virtual machine in shared storage. I want to put the VMs in shared storage. No need to make any changes, and make sure your virtual machine should be contain a 64-bit operating system, because for the virtualization, if you want to manage the virtualization part, you must need to use the shared storage services. I want to provide 10 gig of space or 8 gig of space, and you should be use the thin provision. Next, next, and finish. Fine. Meanwhile, next I'm going to create one more VM, because our responsibility to just increase the load, and DRS is responsible to transfer our virtual machines automatic from one ESXi to another ESXi according to the load. So I'm just giving the much load on our ESXi 1.100. Same storage, and no need to make any changes. You must need to use 64-bit of operating system, provide the username and provide the capacity of our hard drive. So same hard disk I'm just going to provide to second virtual machine, and should be a thin provision. Next, and finish. So we successfully created two different virtual machine in ESXi 1.100, and it's 99% completed. So entire virtual machine are part of our 1.100. I'm just going to give more load on our ESXi 1. Again, need to create another virtual machine like the Windows 8. Same configuration, same share storage. Should be use the 64-bit of operating system. According to the load, if the load increase on ESXi host 1, it will be migrate the virtual machine to available ESXi. So see, entire virtual machines are available in our ESXi 1.100. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn on the VM. Okay, let me turn on one by one to increase the load on ESXi host 1.100. So in ESXi 1.11, we don't have any virtual machine. Let me verify. You can verify the CPU consumption is 95% consumed, right? And up to memory is 95% consumed, and about the CPU it's 70% consumed. If we talk about ESXi 1.11, so just 4% of CPU and 30 or 38 or 40% CPU consumed. So I'm going to turn on more virtual machine from ESXi 1.100, turn on the Windows 7 as well, only to increase the load over a ESXi host 1. It's a bit slow because I configured it entire vCenter and the ESXi on same machine, so that's why a bit slow. Okay, 87% CPU consumption and 95% of memory consumption. Let me click on ESXi 1.11 and see we are able to find one virtual machine automatically migrated. So if you turn on one more VM or if you proceed to create another virtual machine, definitely VMs will be moved to from ESXi host 1 to ESXi host 2. So I'm just giving the much load on our first ESXi. And I hope you understand about the prerequisite. You must need to configure your share storage, and share storage should be connected with both ESXi, and it's our responsibility to use the share storage, and Vmos should be activated on ESXi in entire ESXi that you connected with cluster. See, migrate virtual machine Windows 10. So wait, we are on page of 1.11. So we will get, because you are just giving the much load on ESXi host 1. So maybe some virtual machine will be automatically migrate from ESXi host 1 to ESXi host 2. In our case, ESXi 1.100 to ESXi 1.11. The migration process is started. Migrate virtual machine Windows 10, 19% completed. Let me give more load on ESXi 1.100. I'm going to proceed and create one more virtual machine. Proceed with same share storage. Next. And it's mandatory to use uh, 64-bit of operating system. Fine. So we proceeded for Windows 11 operating system as well, Windows 11 virtual machine as well. I'm going to turn on our Windows 11 as well, only for the testing purpose. It's failed, but it may be migrate the VM to our ESXi 1.11. Bit slow because due to lack of RAM and CPU, the migration process is started, but we need to wait. And this time I'm just going to use 5 gig of RAM, 5 gig of hard drive, and should be a put in thick provision. Operation failed due to region of insufficient space. Let me check. The virtual machine, migrating virtual machine Windows 7 due to lack of space, it's just transferring the virtual machine from ESXi 1 to ESXi 2. If you click on the ESXi label, so we are able to find Windows 7 automatically move to the another ESXi because you configure the fully automated, right? So I hope you understand about the concept. It's really important you need to implement by self, and we'll connect in next video and discuss about how we can manage the HA services. So I hope you all of you understand about the procedures. If you have any question or doubt, please drop a comment. Definitely will reach your comment and give you the solution. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.